welcome to the channel, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just backing out our Razor here out of the garage and bringing the car in so that I can work on this job replacing the low pressure fuel pump and the suction jet pump. You got to take off these little brackets here. They're really easy. You just need to figure them out. Just pull them out, and then you'll remove the seat, the bottom seat here in the back, to access the fuel pump. As you can see here, I'm cleaning everything up with the vacuum because it's pretty grimy. I've never been in here for a couple years now, and so I'm just vacuuming everything, making sure that when I remove the low pressure fuel pump, that no grime or anything falls into the gas tank, because you do not want anything to fall into the gas tank there that may cause some blockage in the fuel lines and stuff like that. So just clean everything up. Here you have a little thing that's covering the tank itself. You just pop it open. It's really easy. And then there's a little grommet right there, which you take off from here. And then when you do that, you can actually move this little cover back more so that you have more space to take everything off, which is the connector and the fuel line, to access the low pressure fuel pump there. So here I am just, doing that, and you push it through there, and that, as you can see there, it gives me more space. Then you're going to remove the connector there and the fuel line, which I did not include in this video because it's pretty self-explanatory. This fuel line is kind of difficult. If you push down on it, you'll see the little tab that you push in with your finger. So push down on the line and then push in the tab, and then it should just pop right out. Here I did those, and then I'm going to get something so that I can take off this little I guess it's a little holder to hold the fuel pump in there. I'm marking it right now so that I can, when I put the little ring on there back on, I know where to put the ring. So I'm using an axe and a flathead. You can use a flathead and a hammer or whatever you want to use. It comes off pretty easily. You take that little ring off, and then you have access to the fuel pump here. It just pops right up. It's really easy. Just pops right up. You can see that orange part right there is the fuel pump seal. When you do this job, you'll want to replace that seal. I have over 177,000 miles on this car, so I did definitely replace this seal. It's just peace of mind. Here, there's a little one line on the bottom. It's a fuel line, and this line connects to the suction jet pump. You'll disconnect that. As you can see in the video, there's a little green part of it. That's the tab you push in, and then it will disconnect. The same kind of line is on the top of the fuel pump, so you'll just push that line. It's just not colored in green. You can't see it in green. It's not color coded like this one is. So you remove the fuel pump out there. Make sure that you are cleaning all the fuel that pumps that spills out, and that none of this fuel goes back into the tank, because it could be covered in grime and stuff, and you don't want that grime to go into your fuel tank. If you do get any grime in the fuel tank, just clean it up with a rag or something like that. And cleaned around it. Now I'm accessing the suction jet pump in there. It's really easy. You just take it off a bracket, and you can then access the rear fuel line that presses in. It uses the same tab, or just like the front one and the one on top of the fuel pump. It's the same tab. Push in and remove. You'll remove that, and then it will just pull on out. And you can see there I pointed to where that rear fuel line connects to. This one is the same. It's all the same kind of tabs. And so you push down on this red part, or you push into it, and then you pull out. That's how it's done. And it's really easy to access. You can only get one hand in there, but once you figure it out, it's really, really simple. So this all took me about 7 minutes, from removing the old suction jet pump and the lines and installing the new suction jet pump and all of its lines. So it's really simple. Right here, I just connected the rear line to the new suction jet pump, and then once I had that connected, I put the new suction jet pump onto its bracket, and there's the line that's going to connect to the bottom of the new low pressure fuel pump. So I'm setting that aside as I go get the new low pressure fuel pump. You don't want this in the way, but you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Here's the new low pressure fuel pump that I have installed. I have the level sensor also installed in the correct position. I just installed the bottom line, fuel pressure line, to the low pressure fuel pump. And here, you know, you just kind of set it in there. It was pretty easy. And just make sure that nothing underneath inside the fuel tank is obstructing its the operation or anything like that. Now I'm just, you know, you got to put the seal around the body of the car, make it sit in there. You can't just put the seal onto the low pressure fuel pump and then set it in. No, that will create leaks with the low pressure fuel pump. First, you have to connect this seal around the edge of the body of the car, and once it's set in place, you can then push the low pressure fuel pump right back onto it, and that will create the seal that you need so that no gas fumes or no gas spills through that seal. So it's very simple. Just take your time, as you can see I'm doing here. I finally double checked and triple checked that the seal was in place around the body of the car, and then you just press the low pressure fuel pump into place. The low pressure fuel pump is spring loaded, so you just press down on it, and then it can only go one way into place where there's a little tab. You'll see the tab. It will fit right into place. You hold it there in place, and then you grab this ring that you removed in the first place, grabbed it, put it around it, and then you set it into place, and then you tighten it down. So here I am setting it into place, making sure that the lines that I drew are lining up with each other. I did it there, or I didn't. I removed it and I put it back and I lined them up. And then I took my flathead screwdriver and my axe. I love my axe. And then you just tighten it down. And there you have it. And then the low pressure fuel pump is into place. The last steps are to reconnect the line on the top here, the fuel line here. You just connect it down, make sure it clicks. And then you connect the connector, click it down, and then you push the tab back in, and then you get this little grommet set in place here that you removed in the first place, and then you just set this in and you push it into place till it all clicks down, and it clicks in. All right, start it up. I can hear the fuel pump back there turn on. So it still has a little bit of hesitation on the startup, but the car has been sitting outside for about an hour in the heat, and it started up better than it started up this morning. This morning it struggled to start pretty bad. I had to restart it 3 times for it to stay on, and even at that it was struggling. So it's better now. Let's do a little bit of this, turn on some AC. Maybe go for a drive, just go get some gas. I did notice that it did not get rid of the bucking in the car, because I plugged the N80 valve back in after I did the install, went for a little drive around the neighborhood, and it started bucking immediately. So replacing the LPFP and the suction pump in the fuel tank did not remedy that situation. It also did not remedy the stuttering and the misfiring on cold drives, because the car immediately did that after I installed the LPFP and the suction jet pump.
So it did not resolve or remedy those two situations. What it has done though, I do not have any fuel odors in the cabin anymore, coming inside the cabin or through the AC or anything like that. So that's an A+ on that. And I'm headed to the gas station right now to fill up the car because it's pretty low right now, as I wanted it to be pretty low when I did the low pressure fuel pump install, because you don't want a full tank because then you're just dealing with a lot of gas. So it's a lot easier to do that job when you have, you know, super low tank of gas. I waited till my gas light came on to do this job, so and it was perfect. The gas didn't get in the way at all. So it did remedy the fuel odor, and I'm going to be monitoring my miles per gallon this week, and we'll give you an update on that for the next video after I post this video of my high pressure fuel pump, or HPFP, install. Very easy. I'm not going to show you how to do that because there's plenty of videos on YouTube about that, but I'm just going to make another video after I install that to see how my miles per gallon has been for the next couple days before I install it, as well as I'm heading to the gas station now, and I will see how the gas tank fills up with the fuel at the gas pump. So as soon as I do that, I will talk about that here shortly. All right, I just filled up the tank. I had no issues with it. As you can see here, what is it, 11.9 gallons, 11.981 gallons is what it filled up, and then it clicked the first time. So, you know, this tank has about 13.2 gallons capacity for it, so that leaves me about 1.3 gallons left, which is about right, because there's still gas in the tank, but it's probably 1.3 gallons or so, and through, you know, all the fuel lines and stuff. So that's perfect. So I have no more issues pumping up gas. I have reset my odometer on my car, and then I'm going to you know, basically go until I need to fill up again, see how many miles on my trip odometer, and then see what my MPGs are. So I'm going to do that, and on the next video I will report back on the MPG and the odometer, how many miles I got out of the gas tank, and etc., and then I will compare that to what I was getting before, because it was pretty low before. It was pretty low. So that will all be in the next video. I don't know when that video will be, probably later this week or early next week. But before I end this video here, I'm just going to talk a little bit about how the car is driving after installing the low pressure fuel pump and the suction jet pump that sits inside the fuel tank. As I said, it did not fix the bucking, and it did not fix the sputtering and the hesitation on cold engine drives. But the fuel odor is gone. I no longer have any fuel pump issues, or fuel pumping issues, I would say. So those two things are fixed, and I will be monitoring the miles per gallon, and also the hard starting. It did not completely fix, but it does start better, and I think that will be completely fixed when I install the HPFP, or the high pressure fuel pump. But as far as driving is concerned, the car feels a little quicker, not gonna lie about that. It does not have any sputtering, kind of like misfiring. You know, when it did that, it felt more fuel related, not misfire related. I never got any misfire codes, so I knew it wasn't misfiring. So there's no more like little like sputters or anything on full acceleration. The car pulls perfectly fine throughout the whole rev band, and it peels tires a little bit faster now as well, because there's more power and more torque, it feels like, coming through the engine and to the wheels. So the car runs great. I'm glad I did this install because it probably needed it anyways. I currently have 177,758 miles on the car, so that's quite a bit, but not a ton. But the engine idles perfectly fine. Everything is running great besides those little things that I just mentioned earlier in the video. So yeah, I think this was a great install. The suction pump definitely needed to be replaced, and I'm glad I did it. And for those of you who are having gasoline fill up at the pump issues, replace it. It's not a hard install. Any novice could do it. I would probably give this a 4 or a 5 out of 10. So like an average install. You just need to be careful with the gasoline lines. So that's going to be the end of this video. I appreciate you sticking with me this long, and I will make another video that I will be posting later on this week or early next week regarding my fuel mileage, as well as my high pressure fuel pump install, and if that fixed the hard starting that I have on the car or anything else that is going on. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate all the support you guys are giving my channel, and all the comments and dislikes and likes and subscribers. All the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. And until the next video, peace.